and welcome to the first episode of 2019 of Jim and Matt the Movies, the show where the two of us sit down and give our opinions on movies we've seen. I'm Matthew Oswald.
And I'm Jimmy Price. And now it's that time again to check out the trailer of the week. And you know by now the rules, and we know that there haven't been a lot of trailers since we edited this script, but that doesn't mean we can't pick out the trailer of the week. Is that right, Matt?
Oh yeah, that's certainly right. So the nominees of trailer of the week this week are
Men in Black International,
Dark Phoenix,
Hellboy,
Glass,
Us,
The Kid Who Would Be King,
and the trailer of the week is...
Men in Black International.
And the runner-up being Dark Phoenix. So Matt, what did you think of the trailer of the week?
I thought it was kind of a coincidence of Chris Hemsworth and the actress of Valkyrie in the movie Thor Ragnarok. It was kind of funny to see both actors from one movie doing basically the same thing in this movie, and also with Liam Neeson, which is
also the guy from Taken.
Yeah, and by looking at the film, I thought that it looked interesting, but not interesting enough for me to wow me or anything like that. It's just because it's the trailer, and I have seen the three Men in Black movies with Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones.
Same here. But this is a different kind of trailer than the one we're used to. But selecting the trailer of the week was tough because since we wrote the script around January, there hasn't been enough trailers at that time. But now that the Super Bowl has passed and new trailers are coming in, we can include them later. But hopefully, I'm just thinking that this Men in Black spinoff is going to be good. So, yeah, at least there's that.
Okay, Jimmy, so what movie today are we going to be reviewing?
Well, here's the thing, Matt. We're not going to be doing a review this week. We're going to be doing something new and different, something bold and daring. And that is a countdown.
What do you mean by us doing a countdown, Jimmy?
Well, here's the thing. I have gathered up a set of rules so that way we're not just making up the rules as we go along. First off, we won't be doing films that have released in 2018. We're going to be films that are released in 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, yada, 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 yada. So that way we're not limiting ourselves to just 1 year and doing it one at a time. Secondly, we're going to split up the films between good and bad. So that way we can look through the catalog of movies that have been released and just think, oh, this is good, or oh, this is bad. And third of all, with all the emphasis I can give, it is our own opinion. If you think a film is bad, that is in the good category. If a film is good, then you think it's in the bad category. Or if it's in the category that we choose, it is all our own opinion. It's our choice to put these movies where they are. So don't blame us if we think that a film that you like or you hate is in a category that we like or we hate. So Matt, do you think that these rules are fair enough?
I think the rules are very fair enough, Jimmy.
All right, so with that said, these are the top 5 best and the top 5 worst films of all time.
Number 5.
Worst.
Jaws 3. The special effects for this movie, they were really corny and cheesy. I mean, it looks so fake whenever the shark breaks through the glass. It's not even funny.
Well, the film was shot in 3D, and at the time that was a new technology. Not like the cool 3D James Cameron uses in films like Avatar and the Alita Battle Angel. It's the kind of film where I place my hand out in front of the camera and go, it's 3D, it's 3D.
Even the first 2 Jaws movies, the shark looked better than the one in the third movie. But also the characters in that film were actually really kind of boring to me. I mean, they do talk about a little bit what happened in Jaws 2, but they didn't live up to be so interesting as Chief Brody in the first 2 movies.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But the film that I would feel that get this the number 5 spot, is The Secret of NIMH 2, Timmy to the Rescue. First of all, I will point out that this film was made 14 years after the original. I would go for a 10.
Just like The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, but while that film was good, this isn't. I'll admit that the characters... The first thing I will note is that it's all based on nostalgia. Squeezing every nostalgic like you're trying to make lemonade. But everything about this movie is bad. Even its own continuity is bad. It pokes holes in it more than Swiss cheese. Overall, this film is bad. Except for Eric Idle as the main bad guy. I'll admit that's the only good part about it. Everything else, bad. So, now on to the next number.
Number 4.
Worst.
Norm of the North. you've already seen our review of it, and you've seen how much I hated this film. It's like, I'll just describe it in 3 words. Boring, cringeworthy, and bad. So my conclusion is definitely do not see this movie. It's one of the worst animated films of all time.
All right. You think you have a worse movie? So you think Norm of the North is beyond number 4. For me, it'll be Smurfs, Smurfs 2, just all the Smurfs movies. And
Basically the trilogy.
yeah. Okay. I know that one of them is animated, and I have not really seen that one yet. So, but at the end of the day, it is all bad. First, the animation. The first 2 films had CGI, and they didn't try to go for, let's try to emulate the comic film. No, they went for full-on Alvin and the Chipmunks. And if I've seen Alvin and the Chipmunks like I've seen it before, this is bad CGI. Secondly, the other characters, they're blander than bread. Seriously. Neil Patrick Harris. No, I think that's about it. Neil Patrick Harris is the blandest thing in the Smurfs trilogy. Third of all, just the plots are so ridiculous and so stupid. You could find them in a direct-to-DVD movie. So without further ado, let's move on before I lose my mind.
All right, so number 3.
Worst.
All the Sharknado movies. Now, whenever you're talking about worst movies, you would expect to see Sharknado on the list. And all of the things in Sharknado are, number 1, illogical, number 2, cheesy, and number 3, just cringeworthy.
That's why they're on Sci-Fi.
And plus, there's like 6 movies, so I think they're making these movies and this series just stupid on purpose. Just like one of the 4th movie is called The Force Awakens, like Star Wars The Force Awakens. I'm like, really? Come on, man. You could do better than that. So, yeah, that's all I need to say about the Sharknado movies, is that the plots are stupid and the characters not very interesting.
My choice is plain and simple for this spot. I could go for this for the number 1 spot, but it is so bad it deserves less. Food Fight. First, it had a budget of $65 million, and the animation looks cheesy. Seriously, if Monster High and Barbie dolls can move better than this, I would watch a movie about that rather than this. Second, the plot is just so stupid.
What's the plot?
The plot is just basically, there's a retired dog detective played by Charlie Sheen, and that brings me on to my 3rd point, which I'll discuss later. Goes into retirement, but gets pulled back in when his supposed girlfriend, played by Hilary Duff, is taken kidnapped. And
man.
third of all, just, good Lord, the fact that they got big name actors to do this. Charlie Sheen, Eva Longoria, Chris Kattan, Wayne Brady, Christopher Lloyd. I mean, Jesus! It is bad beyond belief. How do you take a $65 million movie and make it a pile of mule droppings? Next number.
Number 2,
Worst.
Jaws, The Revenge.
Wait a minute. You've already included Jaws on one point in this list, so why are you
Now,
including it again?
This is actually the 4th movie, Jaws, The Revenge, and it's actually considered one of the worst films of all time by both audiences and critics. So, in that movie, the wife of Chief Brody is convinced that Great White Shark has a grudge against her family.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, and then it follows them all the way from New York to the Bahamas.
How is that even possible? Did it catch a road around its butt?
And plus, there was like so many errors in that movie, and one of the most notable errors is whenever Michael Caine was in the water, whenever he swims to the boat, he hops on the boat, but his shirt is completely dry, like on the outside. And those are just one of the most glaring errors in movie history.
And I know a lot of Keanu fans and a lot of something or others, or philosophical nerds or whatever, are going to hate me for this, but I'm including all of the Matrix movies. But don't get me wrong, it is a good movie. I will admit, there are some things I like about it. But don't get me wrong, it's a tad bit dated. But with certain scenes with slow-mo and whatnot, I'll admit it's good. But it's simply bad because it's got Mr. Whoa in the lead role. It's got a bunch of spandex and more philosophical ramblings than that Carrie Fisher novel. So let's move on.
All right. And the number 1 worst film of all time is Day of the Dead, Bloodline. Like, I cannot tell you how much I was just groaning throughout the whole entire movie. Like, whenever I was watching this movie at my house, I was literally banging my head up against the couch. Like, the plot of this movie is about, like, after a zombie apocalypse, there's this zombie, like, who wanted to have a relationship with this girl before the apocalypse, but he goes after her still, but he won't kill her, but he kill other people too, and he'll even kill other zombies. And also, the special effects of this movie look bad. I mean, it looked like crappy CGI that was from like 1980 or 1970. So my conclusion with that is just flat out do not see this movie. It is not worth it. You're probably, if you're a big zombie fan for like video games, then you're probably just gonna keep banging your head up against the possibly the TV. So.
Well, I would admit that is very good, but my number one choice is the Emoji Movie. There are tons of reasons I can get into. Secret of NIMH, it's watchable. The Matrix movies, watchable. Smurfs movies, as bad as they are, at least watchable. All these bad movies I chose are at least watchable. This is unwatchable. From the characters that are complete sellouts to all the products they're trying to push in, and it's just nuts.
It's basically the reproduction of the movie Inside Out.
Exactly. So, in a way, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So, let's move on. Number 5.
Best.
Black Panther. Now, to start, this film is amazing because it is a kind of a bit risky move on Marvel. Debuting in Civil War with Black Panther was probably the best part about Civil War, aside from Spider-Man, the airport fight, blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Anyway, they had a lot to go through. So they had an all-African-American cast, an African-American director, I think, don't judge, and the way that this was all came together was kind of amazing. And that was due to Kevin Feige, and Marvel was like, hey, keep the source material the way it is. Don't pull a steal. Just don't. Don't put Shaquille O'Neal in the film. And I will admit that Uncle Drew was fine, but steal? No, just don't pull a steal. But overall, it is a good movie, and I really enjoyed it. And I could still listen to the soundtrack over and over again. So, okay, Matt, try and top that.
I think I could top that with The Incredibles 2, released this year in 2018. And
it's 2019 now.
Yeah, 14 years of waiting. I was at the movie theater, and I had pretty much really had fun with this film when I was watching with my older brother. And, I mean, they were able to do it as good as the first one, I believe. And, I mean, I'm pretty say that it's one of the best of 2018.
Well, that's because all of the cast members that were in the original have returned
and
for
also
this.
The story was well developed, too.
I will agree with you on that. It is well developed. So let's move on to number 4.
Best.
Wonder Woman. Now, there are many people saying, oh, DC sucks, DC sucks. But this film is different from all the rest. Because guess what? It tried. And you could see that DC Comics are changing up a little bit to match with the movie. But this is the definitive version. Marvel's version of superheroes are gods becoming, or humans becoming gods. DC superheroes are gods becoming humans. And this captures it very well. You hear that? It captures it well. Try and top that.
I can. Okay, so for my list is Avengers Infinity War. This was like a fun superhero film if you were just going to sit in your house or even just go to the theater. If they're still having it in theaters anyway.
Or
if they don't.
It's not taken away by the devastation or something.
Yeah, but the special effects in that film, they just looked plain amazing.
Yeah, like
and
all the
also,
deaths.
The story was well developed from all the other Marvel films before this one. And I just overall enjoyed the film. It was fun, and I would love to see it again.
Yeah, but you'll have to wait for Avengers Endgame. But anyway, number 3.
Best.
The Lion King. Not the reboot, because that hasn't come out yet. The original.
And not the second one.
So what do I have to say about this? Do I even need to say anything? Everything about this movie has been said and done. The characters, amazing. The setting, amazing. The animation, amazing. So Matt, I dare you, no, challenge you to find a better movie than that.
Okay, I think I have found one, and I find the better movie for that would be Full Metal Jacket.
You Lee R. Lee Emery Hemboy.
Nope, R. Lee Ermey. This movie is directed by Stanley Kubrick, and it was based on the Vietnam War. And R. Lee Ermey, who is one of my heroes, may he rest in peace, like, since he was a former drill sergeant for real life, he nailed the role of Gunnery Sergeant Hartman in the boot camp scenes. But the rest of the movie after the boot camp scenes, I mean, it was pretty fun, and it also just had a great moral in the end of the movie. So it's a great Kubrick movie if you're a Kubrick fan. So yeah, that's my take on that.
All right, number 2,
Best.
Venom. Now, I know a lot of people are going to give me hate, like, oh, why do you like Venom? It's so bad. Just toss out a bunch of nitpickies.
Mainly because it's Sony.
Yeah, but the fact is, Marvel owns the rights to Spider-Man, not his other characters like Venom, Carnage, blah, 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 blah. And if I list all of them, they would probably take up the entire episode.
Well, Sony actually still owns the rights to Spider-Man.
At the moment. But anyway, because at first I was a bit concerned that they would pull a Spider-Man 3 and just cast Topher Grace back in the role. Let's be honest, that role stunk worse than a skunk.
Nothing against Topher Grace, though.
But with this film, they pushed the films. They pushed the realm of reality. In fact, they pushed the realms of reality so further, it's literally like just a box you could hold in your hand. But with that out of the way, it is a really good movie, and I really enjoyed the plot, the twists, the turns. So Matt, what do you think?
I think that the movie for my position for this list would be 12 Angry Men. And the reason being is because this is a type of film that takes place mostly in one room. But since the plot is basically about a jury trying to figure out whether this kid is guilty for stabbing his father or not. And the way they discuss things on the case and also other things, it also makes it interesting. It makes you just want to stay so that it's not just boring by staying in one room. And the acting in this film was really brilliant. Henry Fonda and Lee J. Cobb and a lot of others. So overall, I mean, I give this film a big thumbs up. If I could give 12 thumbs up.
Are you sure we're still PG-13 after this?
Yes.
But anyway, the number 1 best film is, in my opinion, Surf's Up.
I found this movie so boring.
It is not your choice, it's my choice, and I'll talk about this. This is where Sony was down in the dirt. They made Hoodwink. No, they didn't make Hoodwink. They made Open Season, my apologies, and a lot of their earlier films were kind of rocky, but Surf's Up was different. And the reason that it was shot like a documentary, it was shot like it was telling a life story, but it was that of a penguin with great characters, great story, and done in a way that's so different that films are not really done in a way, especially an animated one. It takes a lot to get it done. And that is why I choose it for number 1.
Now, whenever I was watching that movie, I thought I was like watching the boring version of Happy Feet, to be honest. But my pick for the number 1 best movie is Dirty Harry.
Oh, of course you would pick Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry is a classic. It's one of the most well-known Clint Eastwood films, since I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan.
No derp.
And I love the iconic quote, "You gotta ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do ya, punk?" But this is really my favorite film because Dirty Harry has to go after this guy who just snipes at random victims, and at the end of the movie, he finally stops him with his own way to actually make sure that no one else gets hurt again.
All right. We need to keep it G. We need to be a G show.
Okay.
Though I think, by the way you chose your films, I think we're far past that.
Yeah.
Well, man, there were a lot of films to choose, and, well, we gotta give credit to where credit's due, because we took to Twitter and we asked you guys. So, what do we have left to cover?
You want to do the honorable mentions?
yeah, sure. There are some people who sent in comments through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, yada, 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 yada. But we only want to choose one because if we went through all the listings, it would probably take us about all day. So, from Teresa Roaming, the worst film is Cloud Atlas, and the best film is The Godfather. If I screwed that up, I apologize.
What'd y'all think of this list? Did you like it or did you not like it? Let us know in the comments below.
Or you can follow us on our social medias. So, Matt, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and Twitch, where I'll find a regular streaming schedule, or try to find it. So, hey, Matt.
What is it, Jimmy?
I want to ask you a very serious question.
What is it?
Want to be superheroes?
Haven't we already been superheroes?
We have, but maybe legal superheroes? Winky face?